Okay, I'm going to very quickly explain how layers work in Photoshop. And to demonstrate and explain how layers work, I'm going to use a hamburger. So here I have a hamburger file. As you can see, it's a picture of a hamburger from above on what would be a stainless steel countertop. So as you can see from this angle, we can see the top bun and we can kind of see some cheese and some meat, some lettuce kind of poking out, and then the bottom bun poking out below. So what I want you guys to do is open up your layers panel. If your layers panel is not open, you go up to window and go down to layers and then you open it up. So these are how layers work. Whenever you create a new layer or you bring in a new picture into Photoshop, it will be on a new layer. Now, it's really important for you guys to start getting into the habit of naming your layers because it really helps when you have multiple images. So some of your projects, you're going to have multiple layers, anywhere from 8 to 15 layers, sometimes more. And it's really important to start naming them so we know what is what, because these little pictures here, even though they are helpful, they're really tiny, so they're not the greatest of help. So it is really important to start naming them. How you name a layer, because when we create a new layer, say if I just click new layer here, it always comes up with layer 1, 2, 3, 4. How you name a layer is you simply double click where it says the name layer 1, and then you can type whatever. I'm going to delete this layer because it's not needed. It was just an empty one. I'm going to drag it down to the trash can, and that's how I delete it. So here I have bread, bottom, salad or lettuce, hamburger, cheese, onions, ketchup, and bread, top. And then here we have our background. So each layer is actually named simply just by clicking, okay? Now, the order that they're in from top to bottom is the order that they actually appear. So here we have our top bun. Now, if I use my move tool, I can move my top layer around. Now you notice I'm selected on the top layer, so it allows me to move the top layer. If I'm selected on, let's say, the hamburger layer, even though I can't see it, I can still move it around, okay? So whatever layer you are selected on allows you to move it around. If we select the eye here, this allows you to turn it off. So I'm going to turn off the bread, top, ketchup, onions, cheese, hamburger, salad, and then there's our bottom bun, and here's just our background. So each time you turn on a layer, it allows you to see it. And then you'll notice that there's these different icons here. There's the lock layer, or the lock icon. What this makes it do is you can't move it around. So even though I'm selected on it, I cannot move. Sometimes there's this really annoying ding sound. It's letting you know that it's locked and you can't move it. All you have to do is simply click. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, I had a pop-up. Could not use the move tool because the layer is locked. You have to make sure you click OK on that before you can unlock it. There you go. So now I can move it around. So like I said before, the way that these work top to bottom is the order that they're in. Now let's say, I'm going to turn off the top button. Let's say I want the ketchup on top of the cheese, not on top of the onions. So how you do that, we have our ketchup on top. If you simply click the layer and drag it below, now your ketchup is below the onions. Okay? So once again, let's say, never mind, that makes a messy burger. I'm going to select the onions. I'm going to drag it down. See how there's a little blue line? That tells you where it goes. And I'm going to drop it. That's how you can very easily adjust layers. Let's say I want to be weird and I want to put my cheese underneath the hamburger and the salad. I want it on the bottom bread. I just click and drag it down. Okay? And then I want to drag it back up on top. So clicking on your layer and using the move tool allows you to move them around no matter where they are. Clicking on each one, bringing it back together. and then turn on the top button. Oops. So remember, if you drop the bottom of the bread top all the way down to the bottom, you can't see it anymore. So literally, the most important thing for you guys to take away from here is the order that they are in our layers panel is the order that they appear top to bottom, and how you can simply rearrange layers by just simply dragging and clicking. Now remember, how you delete a layer is you can either select the layer and select on the trash can, or you can click and drag it down to the trash can. To create a blank new layer, you just select this new layer icon here. To make a copy of a layer, let's say I want a double, I'm going to copy my hamburger and I'm going to copy my cheese. So now, let's turn these off. I have 2 cheese and 2 hamburger. But you can't have the hamburger patties on top of each other. We need a cheese in between. So now I have hamburger, cheese, hamburger, cheese. So how you simply make a copy is you just drag it down to the new layer and it creates a copy. Now you can also create folders. That's this little guy right here. So it creates a group and you can name this group. So I'm going to name it burger. I'm going to select the bottom one, hold down shift, select the top layer. It allows me to select multiple layers, and I'm going to drag them into this folder. Now you'll see it kind of indented it a little bit. If I click this arrow, now they're all in one. And what's nice about this is if I select this burger, I can move it around. If I want to copy this, now I have 2 burgers. So let's say I want to make it smaller. So let's make some sliders. I can make one more copy. And I have 3 little sliders. So it's very easy to make copies. I really like to use the folders because it just creates a lot of organization. Because let's say I needed to make these 3 sliders, but without using folders, this is what your layers panel would look like. And that's a huge mess. So name your layers and try and start getting in the habit of using folders to group things together. It just makes it a lot neater and easy to move around.